Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering from ELD's Time Ball Games. This is round 2 of the ELD Legacy Open. Fortunately, round 1 life totals were not used. It was pretty difficult to follow. We're just jumping in with round number 2, Scam versus Boros Initiative. Out to those players and make sure that they use the life totals moving forward so everyone at home can actually follow along. Particularly bad when it's Death Shadow. Like the life totals are super complicated and also incredibly important to the game state. Constantly dealing damage to yourself and having the option in many instances as to take damage or not. But here we have a Delver of Secrets squaring off against Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Getting that body, have some card selection. I mean, the card just does so much work. Huge part of what makes this archetype viable. Any of the Chalice Stompy style decks having that payoff. Obviously, Blood Moons, Vegas of the Moon, was type of effect very welcome on turn 1, potentially shutting off all your opponent's fetch lands and denying them any mana other than red. Having just a density of meaningful plays. Seasoned Dungeoneer. This is a bit of a reader for Nick. He's been out for a while, missed the entire invasion of the initiative cards. Whole different level than the Monarch. Delver of Secrets. Both of them flipping thanks to a Reanimate. And I guess fortunately for Nick, Scam is kind of a natural predator of initiative style strategies. If you can brief or strip a card out of their hand, heck, if they discarded off of Fable of the Mirror Breaker, if you can snipe one of those initiative creatures with a Reanimate, you're going to be in fantastic shape. Bunch of extra text on the Seasoned Dungeoneer. I've seen people miss that quite frequently. Flipping. Synergy here between Kiki Jiki and Seasoned Dungeoneer. Not a great time to be finding out about this for the first time. Let's see what Steve does. So much with so little. Fact of both of these cards, incredible on the board state. City of Traders floating some mana. It's going to be Chaos, Caves of Chaos Adventurer, another initiative creature. I mean that pre-combat. They don't think that's the way to do that. Very interesting. It seems like you would want to swing, get the initiative back, then go ahead and cast that and go another step deeper into the dungeon. Let me know your assessment of that. Also, of course, making copies of your initiative creatures ridiculous. Take the initiative a step further into the dungeon. Undercity. At least able to get it back thanks to the evasion on these Delvers, but quite add up. Let's see what he's got. Brainstorm. A green pitching. Sees fourth Aerolingus, March of Otherworldly Lights, and a Chalice. Just a basic planes in play for Steve. Yeah, that's the very clear choice. Animate. Close one. Flip side there, Fable. Make a whole bunch of problems during the end step. Like with just this 1 mana, he's not going to be able to. I don't see any treasures on board thanks to the Goblin Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Making a copy. Tramply guy. Let's see, is this going to be lethal? I think it is. That's going to do it. Learning firsthand all about the initiative. Bit of it in the room. Imagine coming back to Magic, completely missing all of the initiative cards and learning about them in a tournament setting. It's almost like an elaborate prank how just ridiculously out of the norm they are, creating an entire oddball mini game. Turn 1, 3 mana. That's what this deck is looking to do. Force of Will, shutting it down. That Fable can be so important. Get the ball rolling. Those extra card draws. Entomb. First one got wastelanded. Second one powered out a Chalice. But Nick already has his body online. This is the new Galactite Stalker. Just came out. It is growing. A legit threat. Menace chipping away at Steve's life total. Archon of Emeria. Not really going to stand up very well in combat against that. Stable, but Hydroblast. Tossed out there. Does get countered by the Chalice. And sending double block. Takes out the Archon. Now the double block was just because of Menace. That was not actually going to trade. Or so I thought. Oh no, because it's a 2/2. That's wild. I don't know why I'm reading Mankey as a 1/1 in my mind. That is actually a 2/2 Goblin. Along with the 2 power from Archon, that did actually clear. Things are going in the other direction now. Seasoned Dungeoneer. Wow. Steve maybe pulling off a comeback here at just 1 life. Nick with no board presence. Facing down what? Maybe a 2-turn clock. Trap does 5. Those extra counters. Along with this reflection of Kiki Jiki. I mean, this is not looking good. That Ancient Tomb, not super helpful at this point, but it's done its job. Just sit back and proudly watch. Creatures that had helped get on board or stealing this game from just 1 life. Wow. That is, talk about stabilizing. From 1 life, Steve claws his way back in. Hands Nick a loss early in this tournament.